So you're thinking about taking your business global. It's a huge step. But what really separates the companies that make it big on the world stage from those that, well, don't? Today, we're diving into export management. And trust me, it's so much more than just shipping boxes. It's the strategic discipline, the playbook, that can make or break your international success.
I mean, really think about it. Are you ready? The opportunities out there are absolutely massive. But let's be real, so are the challenges. The big question we're tackling today is how do you get your company ready not just to enter the global market, but to actually win in it? And here's the secret weapon, the core idea we're going to build on. You can have the most amazing product in the world, and that might get you noticed. But what keeps you in the game? What lets you build something that lasts? It's the discipline of management. It is, without a doubt, the engine room of any successful global operation.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with the big picture, the core management playbook. Then we'll zoom in on the specifics, planning and organizing, building and leading your dream team, and then controlling and adapting as you grow. By the end, you'll have a solid blueprint to work from.
All right, let's get right to the heart of it. Our source material boils down all of management into 5 fundamental disciplines. Think of these as the essential plays you've absolutely got to have in your playbook if you want to compete internationally.
And here they are, the Big 5. You've got planning, organization, building a team, executive action, and management control. Get these right, and you're building on a rock-solid foundation. Seriously, for any manager in the export game, these are non-negotiable.
So let's kick things off with the first 2, planning and organizing. I like to think of this as charting your course and building the ship. Before you can even think about setting sail, you need a destination and a vessel that can actually get you there. So what do we mean by planning? It's not just a vague idea. It's the deep, conscious work you do before you do anything else. It's about forecasting where the market is headed, setting crystal clear goals, and figuring out exactly how you're going to get there step by step.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You've got 2 different horizons. Short-term planning is all about the here and now, hitting your numbers for the next year or 2. But long-term planning, that's about building an empire. It's asking, where are we going to be in 5, even 10 years? This is where you think about new markets, new products, and building a business that can weather any storm.
Now, once you have that brilliant plan, you've got to organize your people to make it a reality. And a massive part of that is delegation. Look, it's not just about dumping work on someone else's desk. It's about empowerment. It's giving your people the authority to match their responsibility. A manager who can't delegate, they don't just slow things down. They become the bottleneck for the entire operation. And this right here is a perfect example of how that structure comes to life. It might look like a bunch of boxes, but this org chart is basically a blueprint for efficiency. See how everything, marketing, shipping, manufacturing, all flows up to a single leader? This design is all about clear communication and fast, decisive action. It's a machine built for results.
Okay, so you've charted the course, you've built the ship, now for what is arguably the most critical part, assembling a world-class crew and having a captain who can actually steer the vessel through rough seas. This is the human element.
Let's be blunt here. The export game is high stakes. There's absolutely no room for B players on your team. You have to be obsessed with finding the right people, the ones with the right skills, the right experience, and, just as importantly, the right attitude. The success of your entire global venture rests on their shoulders. But getting the right people in the door is just the beginning. The best leaders are also the best developers of talent. And it's a constant cycle. You have to objectively look at performance, have honest conversations about how to improve, and then actively coach your people every single day to help them get there. This brings us to executive action. This is where all the planning and organizing comes to life. This is the part where the manager stops being an architect and starts being a pilot. It's the active, dynamic, day-to-day process of making things happen.
So what does great executive action look like? Well, it stands on 4 pillars. It's making smart decisions, even when you don't have all the data from a market halfway across the world. It's motivating your team, making sure they feel valued and part of the mission. It's true leadership, guiding people through the tough times. And it's constant, crystal clear communication across cultures and time zones.
All right, on to our final, crucial discipline, management control. Think of this as the ship's navigation system. It's how you make sure you're staying on course, but it's also about being smart enough to know when you need to change course or even upgrade the ship entirely.
Now, when you hear the word control, don't think micromanagement. That's not what this is about. This is your early warning system. It's about having a process that flags things the moment they start to drift from the plan, so you can fix a small problem before it becomes a disaster.
And the process itself is beautifully simple. You set the standard. What does success look like? Then you measure what's actually happening. You compare the two. And if there's a gap, you take corrective action. That's it. It's a powerful loop that keeps everyone aligned and focused. Here's a really critical point about organization. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. Your company's structure has to be built to serve your strategy, not the other way around. Think about it. A business that exports thousands of the same product every month needs a very different setup than a consulting firm managing a few massive, unique projects a year. And you can see that difference so clearly here. On the left, you've got that product organization we saw earlier. It's lean, mean, and built for repetition. But on the right, you see a services organization. It's built around these flexible project teams, or SBUs. Each one is almost like a mini company, spun up to handle a specific complex project. It's all about being agile.
So there you have it. We've walked through all 5 plays in the core management playbook. Now the final step is to take these ideas and forge them into a blueprint that is uniquely yours, one that fits your company and your global ambitions.
You know, there's a great line in the source material that just perfectly sums all this up. The global marketplace is always changing, always evolving. But these fundamental principles of management, they're timeless. They're your anchor in turbulent waters. So, let's boil it all down. Here's your blueprint. Plan your course with absolute clarity. Organize your people for maximum efficiency. Build a team of A players and never stop developing them. Lead with decisive action. And finally, constantly control your progress and be ready to adapt. That, right there, is the path.
So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. As you think about your own business or your own career, which one of these 5 areas needs your attention the most right now? What's the very first play you're going to run from this playbook to start building your global future?